What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, okay, making their debut on the channel tonight, we have Calliope Mori. Yes, indeed. How about that? Calliope Mori making their debut on the channel. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbidi bop, do me a favor before you do all that stuff. Please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Abel Sanchez, and Abel wanted to see me react to this song by Calliope Mori called End of a Life. Now, have I heard the song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait, hold it. I've heard this before. I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This was posted by Mori Calliope's CH HoloLive-EN. Take that for what it's worth. And the video has 12 million views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. MVs, we got a music video. End of a Life, Calliope Mori original song. Cool. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this. We'd run right through those nights. I'll never find my way back to you. Inside this labyrinth of lights, there was madness in the meaning. Never laughed less. We were screaming at the top of our lungs to the numbness. This city never died. I'll fly no through those heights. I'll never find another chance to say thanks for saving my life. I was hopeless, it was stinging, running roadless. We were singing at the top of our lungs to the numbness. This city never died. What was the root of it all? I couldn't say. Used to jump on my fault, rugged and cliched. Would shrug it off without complaint, not a sound. I used to try to find friends, cause in the end nobody sticks around. It's when you shoved yourself into a crowded place that you turned around and found yourself in love in outer space. Cute reckless nights, no strings, laughing at our own dreams. Just what the hell was so funny? Bark up the wrong tree, stumble, used to fall in great heights amidst a concrete jungle, singing cause it felt right. We mixed the ennui and troubles, rhyming our discontent. To know its history, I can't forget the time that we spent. Convinced that this could mean another end exists between real and pretend. Twisted artifiction where I missed my chance to not ascend, and disappearing into the mist. It never happened, is the me that I can never befriend. I let it go, fade in, fade out. This crazy dream without a direction, floating aimlessly. There's nothing left back there for me. Breathe in, but it won't stop the rain from pouring.
Okay. Right off the top, right off the gun, let me just say, this is not my jam. Okay? It's not my bag. It's not my thing. It's not something I would ever listen to on the regular. And just from what I've heard so far, more than likely I will never listen to this song again. Okay? It's just, guys, it's not my style. All right? Having said that, though, I gotta say, there's some really cool things happening here. Number one, the chordal progression, very pleasing to the ear, majorly based, which is nice, very typical of pop style music. The vocals are really what's selling this, though. I'm not so much focusing on the lyrics. I'm not a lyric guy. I never really pay attention to lyrics, so it's not really my thing. But what's happening within the notational selection, the melodic line that's happening in the vocals in places, along with the harmonies. Now, the harmonies, not so much the harmonies themselves, like as far as notational selection, getting those, triads, but more about the placement and the usage, more specifically the amount of usage. Very strategically placed. Right at the beginning of the second stanza, boom, in comes this wall of harmonies, right? Harmonies then on the next line, harmonies completely drop out, and then they're added back in one voice at a time, staggered entrances to bring it back to that fullness again. That is smart. You're showing some growth there when you do that. That's really strategic. I mean, you gotta kind of tip the cap to them on that. That's not easy to think up. Most people wouldn't do that. And then once the harmonies served their purposes, they were eliminated completely, and the solo line came back in and took the rest of the chorus, keeping the harmonies special, making sure that the harmonies don't lose their shine from overusage. Look, that I am not being sarcastic. I am not being facetious. I am applauding that. It is smart arranging. What's really impressing me more than anything, though, and I know I laughed. I know I laughed. There's a reason for it. In the intro, what she was doing with her meter and what she was doing with her rhythmics within her vocal placements, I kept thinking to myself, okay, she's singing, yes, but really more than anything, she's bringing attention to her rhythmic patterns and how she is literally shoehorning lyrics in to fit within the phrase, and she's pulling it off. I could totally see this vocalist being really good at doing a hip-hop style of vocals, and I kid you not even 5 seconds after I thought that, it came the hip-hop feel. I'm like, I walked right into that. Oh my goodness. No, but look, it shows talent. It shows talent. It absolutely does. I will give them all the credit in the world. All the credit. It sounds good. It's catchy. It's poppy. It's flowing well. It's pleasing to the ear. And when we're talking about pop music, what more do you want? That's really all you need. So, while I may not be a fan of it, there's no denying there's some really cool things happening, without question. Shoehorned it in, but she fit it.
Chasing fireflies between the soaring high rises, left a trail behind to find it, wasting time of our lives. Silent singer, overworked and underpaid, exit opposites, a coffin until office where you're laid. Yet a thought persistent optimist, you ought to be afraid. Saw them nothing wrong in writing songs behind a lonely shade. Is the world a sadder place without the words that you conveyed? When the ladder fell and shattered every bar that we had played, does it matter in the end? The sound diminished and decayed, and your friends grew tired of fantasy. You're wishing they had stayed. You don't get to say I miss you. You watch your heroes fade into the rear view mirror of the villain you portrayed. Stop the pity party. Listen, you don't get to be dismayed. You don't get to be emotional. If you're blessed, you got it made. These the best of years of life because you chose to make a trade. Recollect the days you hoped and you prayed for this. What is that, a mess?
I can with the chorus.
Those heights, I'll never find another chance to say, hey, thanks for saving my life. I was hopeless, escaping, driving roadless. We were singing at the top of our lungs to the numbness. This city never died. I'll say goodbye to the soul inside.
See, everything I said on the first pause, copy and paste and put it here, basically. It's more the same, but it's all okay. There may be some differences of opinion here. Okay, it's good. It ranges anywhere. At the very least, it's functional. At the very least, I can't imagine anybody saying this is bad, because it's not. It's well arranged, well written, well executed. I don't have any problem with the songwriting, with the arranging, the voicings. I got no issue with it. At the very least, it's functional. At the best, I'm sure there are going to be people that are going to say, this is the greatest song ever written. And listen, I'm not dismissing their opinions. Okay, I'm not. All I will say to those people is, okay, you have your opinion on this. That's wonderful. Okay, and I see where you're coming from. Okay, there are other songs out there that, me personally, I think were better written than this, but I'm not going to sit here and say you're crazy for thinking that. I mean, because there's a lot of really interesting things happening in this. There really are. So it's not bad at all. Like I said, at the very least, worst case scenario, it's functional. And you'd be amazed how many bands made a killing, made a great living being functional. So anyway, let's finish this out and we'll get to the review.
Waking up now to my real life. Let me daydream. So the next flight, drowning so long. I got older. Now the crowd's gone. Is it over? Is it over?
Good ending. Really good ending, actually. Cool. This is gonna be an interesting one. This is definitely going to be an interesting one. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Calliope Mori with End of a Life. This was a request from Abel Sanchez. Okay. This was a weird one. Okay, it's not the first time this has happened on the channel where, I've been put in this situation, and it's always interesting to see how these kinds of songs always pan out with me. So sometimes they pan out well, sometimes they pan out not so well. But in this case, you know what? I'll let the score explain everything. I think once I give the score, people are going to be like, what? Check this out. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that a 7.8. Yeah, 7.8. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, 7.8. What does that mean? Well, a 7.8 would translate to a really good scale rating, so believe it or not, look at the song objectively. I think it's a really good song. it would get 4 to 5 stars and a B+ letter grade. Yeah, let that one sink in. So there you go, a 7.8, really good skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and a B+ letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. Let me just say this one time, let me get out of the way, let me get out of my system. Did I personally enjoy the song? Not really. Not really my thing, not really my bag, not really my jam, not really my cup of tea. It's not a song I will probably ever listen to again. It's just, it's not my thing, guys. I'm sorry. I don't ever see this ending up on a playlist and me playing it while I drive to Vegas or something like that. I just don't see that happening. So nothing personal against the song. It's just not my style. Now, having said that, looking at the song objectively, there were some really cool things happening in here. For starters, the chordal progression, it's very easy to follow, very smooth, very pleasing to the ear, primarily majorly bass. I mean, they did throw a couple of minors every there and once in a while to work as a transition, but it would always resolve back to the major at the beginning of the next phrase. So, and every single resolution made sense. Every time it resolved, it was smooth. So, no issues there. As far as I talked at length about this during the course of the reaction, so I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it, but I do want to mention the usage of the harmonies. I love how they did it. They kept the harmonies fresh. They kept the harmonies crisp and clean and shiny for 2 reasons. One, when they would use them, they would maximize their usage. They would come in full blast, and then they would pull them back, and then they would stagger in the entrance of the harmonies again. Staggered entrances though. One voice, next voice, next voice, next voice. Here's the full harmonies again. And then they would pull them all completely out and let the lead vocalist carry on her own. Smart. That way you keep the harmonies fresh, you keep them exciting, you keep the audience, the listeners vested and wondering when are they going to come back, because they sounded really good. And as like any good showman will tell you, always leave the audience wanting more. Well, they did that. They absolutely did that. The biggest thing for me was the vocals, the lead vocals. Not so much from the notational standpoint, although don't get me wrong, the melodic line that she came up with was really nice. It sounded really good. But for me, it was her meter. It was her rhythmic placement of words. The way that she was able to shoehorn all of those syllables into a single measure. I made the comment when I was on my first pause. I remember I was listening to the intro, and I was thinking to myself, the way that she's pulling off these meters and the way that she's pulling off these rhythmic placements and rhythmic patterns, I wouldn't be shocked if she would, break into a hip hop, segment here somewhere. Go drop some bars on us in a hip hop stanza, and I'm not even kidding, folks. 5 seconds later, boom, there it was, and I was like, ha ha ha! I had to chuckle. Because I kind of called it when I was hearing. I was like, she sounds like she'd be a good hip hop artist. It was very well done, and some really impressive rhythmic placements. She really knew how to get the most out of each and every stanza. So. Good on her, man. And I gotta say, that was probably the most impressive thing about the song for me. But it was really, really well done. In closing, I just have a couple questions. Calliope Mori. I assumed that this was a group, and I still think it's a group, but I'm not 100% sure. There's a possibility this is just an individual. So Calliope Mori fans, if you could let me know, is this a group or is this a single individual doing everything? I would really like to know that. The second thing, and this is the last question I'm going to ask, is where is her music most utilized? Something tells me, I don't know for sure, but this has the feel and the direction of being utilized in anime. I don't know if it is or not. I mean, I could be very wrong about that, but the way the music is written, the way it's styled, the direction of the chordal progressions, the usage of the harmonies, the focus on the vocals, Something just tells me that this is used in some sort of way in animation, Japanese animation. Am I right in that assumption? I don't know. So again, Calliope Mori fans, let me know. What or is this just strictly a pop artist group? I don't know. I have no clue. I'm sure Calliope Mori fans will be more than happy to fill me in though. So anyway, 7.8. Yeah, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of it, and I'll never listen to this again. But there's no denying it's a really good song. So that's why I'm giving it the really good score of 7.8. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have a 7.8, which is a really good skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and a B+ letter grade. Take your pick. I don't care. Whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score. I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later, peace.